Good afternoon and happy Strix Day, everybody. Obviously, you can hear the ventilation above me rattling. I was fiddling with it up until a couple seconds ago because you know, it's one of those things, loud buildings. Welcome to our weekly Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms live stream. My name is Dylan, in case you don't know, and I am your host for our second week of Strix, stream about Strix. Because Strix is now live as of about 12 to 14 minutes ago. So I'm going to be playing through and unlocking her on my account. But yeah, so we are finally excited to finally release the Festival of Fools so that everybody can unlock Holly Conrad's Strix. So yeah, what's new this week? A lot's new this week. But first, I wanted to say hi to a bunch of the people here in channel: Goldnux, Daylight Asunder, Obo Crazy. I saw Silisa in there. Urdspark, Leucothea, Kitty Big Butt, Valkyve 4. Welcome to the weekly stream. Yeah, so I'll be unlocking Strix and crossing my fingers that she's super awesome. I do have some chests to open, so hopefully she's immediately great. But I don't know, I guess we'll wait and see. You missed me last week, Silisa. Were you not on? I was, right? Yeah, I think so. I remember being on. Right, yeah, it was the art stream last week. We were doing the Strix art stream. Yeah, I'm optimistic about Strix being good because I'm pretty sure she is able to be the recipient of all the most meaningful buffs. And she's in a competitive slot, so we'll see how things go. Obviously, Thursdays are very big days in the world of D&D. We have that tiny little show called Critical Role on tonight at like 7. But we also have Trapped in a Birdcage on before it, which starts at 5. And I don't know if you've seen it, but it's a show where Holly Conrad DMs a really crazy collection of characters in a sigil-based campaign, and it's a delight. So you should totally check it out. I don't know how many of you watch Dice Camera Action, but Anna Prosser is also on this show, and she plays a character that is nothing like Evelyn. So yeah, check that out. And then Waffle Talk's on before that at 4. So it's one of those days where you just you turn on twitch.tv/DND and you just never ever shut it off. That's how it rolls. Oh, thanks for sharing the Trapped in a Birdcage subreddit, Obo. I had not seen that yet. Awesome. Cloud Sora, I'm glad you like DCA. I do too, even if it is the most emotionally intense couple hours of my week. Usually it's just like you just let it all out because it just hammers you. Nobody twists a knife like Chris Perkins, apparently. So yeah, we're gonna be doing a few things today, a little bit differently. First, we're not gonna be giving away any DLC from our game today because our cool friends came out with this game 2 days ago, Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday. The Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition is out, and we only have one shirt, which I'm unfortunately not going to give away right now. But we will be giving away a few copies of the game. So that's what our raffle will be this week. Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Editions. So when those start, just exclamation raffle to join in. Yeah. Props to Erica, who is managing the Codename Entertainment account and the raffles, who will be doing all that stuff. So, yeah, speaking of, here we go. So, what else is going on? Obviously, there was this tiny little feature called Familiars that came out a couple days ago that we've had some feedback about already. Justin is actually going to be joining me on stream in a little under an hour to do a Q&A for this week, and we will be addressing all of the familiar stuff then because most of it is I can't speak to the design insight for it. I am a player who used them like everybody else, but my only complaint is I wanted more Chwingas because Chwingas are super rad and he just kind of hops on the button and it's pretty sweet. So yeah, Familiars came out. Festival of Fools has been out for 20 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. Yeah, I'm going to get into that right now when I hit the right button. So here we are. Luckily, I have a bunch of peppermints already because I did at least a tiny bit of preparation work before this. I admit to liking a drunken revel as much as the next dwarf, but this be too much. Oh, sweet. 6 people trying to lift my purse. I haven't actually read any of this dialogue yet either. Sorry, I'm like engrossed in the game or something. well, I'm going to get some familiars to help me click. So this guy, always this guy, and Lauren's favorite one, and a hand. That way I can not die when I stop paying attention. Get that bird. Like often happens on stream when I'm playing. So this will help. This is why you want clickers, by the way, because Justin tweaks these events to be so tough, and you got to be right in on it, but right from the start. But the familiars will just do that part for you, and I don't have to break this mouse, which is what probably would happen. Yeah, I should probably hit auto progress as well, because that's smart. Yeah. Oh, that was Erica. Yes, thanks, Erica. So yes, in terms of questions, because I know we have a few. Let's see. Oh yeah, I had pre-written the question, when can we unlock Strix on the unlikely event that the event was not already live when I came on stream today. So obviously you can unlock her now. I see somebody in chat asking who Strix swaps with. Strix swaps with Jamila, slot 11. Long story short, there are only a handful of slots left where we hadn't yet put a swap in, and every single time we talked to Holly about Dungeons and Dragons, she talked about how much she loves Minsk, and so rather than having Strix swap with Jinsk, we made her swap with Jamila, so that Strix and Minsk can be in the same party. So Strix can be in the same party as the rest of the companions of the hall. So yeah, we're pretty stoked. We're pretty stoked. We're pretty stoked about that. Let's see. The Maca23 asking about support for 4K monitors. That's on. I'm pretty sure that's just on the list with a lot of other UI things. We're planning some changes. BioGyver, thanks for adding the familiars. Bought them and they're awesome. Oh, thank you for supporting us by grabbing them. You know, they're. I don't know. I never get tired of watching this little Chwinga jump on something, and I was pushing real hard for us to have multiple Chwingas, or like just a different Chwinga for each slot, but I was overruled. I still kind of want it though, just because I can have them running around the screen, stream. God, yeah. Anyways, our green paradox is the mage hand named Handrew after Paulton's hand friend. Not officially, but that would have been a good one to do. Hey, yeah. So maybe I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do, because I have 5. I didn't have 50,000 gems lying around because a stream a couple of weeks ago, people convinced me to spend all my gems on chests and unlock them, and now I'm short. So I've only got 5. But I'm gonna put this pixie on click damage, so that while they're clicking, the damage just steadily goes up, and then I can pay even less attention to what's going on. BC 1080, how much do you actually test your patches before you release them? A fair amount. It's actually one of the reasons why the patch came out today and not yesterday. There's a few aspects of this patch that were technically challenging. Justin can speak more to it, and also I don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't had a chance to play through the first 50 rounds of the event yet mission, because yeah, there's some stuff in it that will become much more evident about why it took a lot more time. But I can say that Strix and Strix's design, we went a little bit more ambitious than we had before with how Strix works. She can do more, and has separate animation sets. So you know, that meant that there was a lot more extra work for Alexis when Alexis was drawing Strix, and then there was even more work for Mark when it came to programming Strix. So yeah, it took a little bit of time. So yes, BC 1080, we do test our patches. Obviously we miss things. It's one of the reasons why we don't like to what's it called? Sorry, I'm gonna unlock. Oh, what? This formation. We don't like to release the patches too late in our workday, because it could mean that something we don't notice doesn't get fixed until the next day. But we're all here right now, at least for the next 4 to 5 hours, give or take. So if anything pops up, we can do something about it. Now, yes, and Obo's linking about dice camera action. I highly recommend dice camera action. You know, like, I mean, every D&D show has its own feel, and there are things to love about all of them. You know, like, certainly if you're into like the artistry of D&D and music, then Sirens of the Realm is incredible. If you're into like the most intense D&D soap opera where your heart is just like torn out and eviscerated, and then like only pieces of it are put back in you at the end of each week, then you can watch Dice Camera Action, which is wonderful but traumatizing sometimes. It's just, but it's amazing. You know, you love it. They all the actors, all the streamers, the players, they do such a killer job. And then of course you get to watch Chris Perkins DM, and how many people are as good at DMing as Chris Perkins? So Clarissa X, how do you get penance? So the event tokens, which this time around are penance, they drop at a set rate. You get one about every 30 seconds or so from whichever enemy you kill within that span, which works out to, I don't know, 36,000 or so over the course of an event. If you are not playing, or if you're stalled out on a boss, or if you've closed the game or something, the game remembers how many you should have collected, and what will happen is instead every enemy will drop one for a while instead of just one every 30 seconds or so. And then on top of that, if you want to increase the number you have, you can always pull open your inventory, look at a contract, use it, and it will also give you the tokens for the amount of time that the contract takes up. Not great for gold, but great for getting a ton of tokens. So if you save up your contracts for events like I do, it allows you to start doing the events sooner. So. Yeah. Where the heck did my heroes go? Oh, they're there. That's an interesting one. Bailey. Why do my heroes keep disappearing? So yeah, about those bug fixes. We will get to that one. Somebody's asking if you also, the other thing about penance is you do, that's cheeky, Sailisa, I saw your question. You also get penance if you're not in the event. You get penance from any adventure that you're playing while the event is active. Sailisa, you said Strix gets all the important buffs. She doesn't qualify for Zorbu. Confirm Zorbu is unimportant. I'm saying that how many, like, so aside from a birdsong DPS formation, how often are you using Zorbu in a buffing role? You know, most players are using Jamila, who does, I mean, I guess she could get a benefit from it, but, you know, when I said that Strix gets all the important buffs, I mean that she gets Hitch's friendly, she can be buffed by Ashara, and she can also be buffed by Dadius, who is, I think, at a base level, a stronger buffer than Calliope is, but yeah. Anyways, Zorbu is unimportant. Well, you know what? I use him in my Birdsong DPS formation all the time, and I do that formation quite a bit. Arkan Sunseeker, do you plan to retrofit more animations for the other champions like you did for Strix? I don't know that is something in our plans, but we can ask Justin that when he gets in. The amount of time that goes into creating each champion is substantial, and Strix so far has by far been the most substantial amount of time put in. So yeah, let's see. So yeah, I don't know that that is something we are planning. Demrin Silverblade, where do we stand on? Oh, excuse me. 3 potions of polish gift to players on their birthdays. Not that my birthday is in 12 days or something. I was just wondering. My understanding is that potions of polish were going to be a one-time thing, and then were added to the familiars as like, because normally when you spend a certain amount of money on our game, you also get a potion of polish, and so it was to kind of correspond with that. But yeah, just giving them out more frequently is Unlikely. But happy preemptive birthday for what? The 10th or the 9th of April or something? What is it? It's the 29th today. 31 days and yeah, 10th. Baron Stromgard. Can all players get potions of polish on Dylan's birthday? I'm not telling you guys what my birthday is. Sure. Although I probably put it on the internet somewhere, so I'm sure somebody could find it. Tom Ribbons, quality of life request. When I type a chess code, allow me to hit enter instead of having to click the submit button. Yeah, I'll make a note about that. And on that note, there's a code in the corner of the screen over there. I'm going to enter it in. God, I hate this keyboard. Boom. Alrighty. Oh yeah, I guess they can't destroy the barrier, can they? Alas. Should I use Jarlaxle or Stokey? Jarlaxle? Stokey. Anyways, let's see. Insane Joe. Dylan, as a devout critter and follower of Matt Mercer, I can only assume even Perkins worships Matt Mercer as a DM. I don't know. I mean, I am sure they have more than a professional respect for each other. But I mean, I certainly can't speculate as to what the nature of their relationship is like. I'm sure they've met. Maybe they haven't. I don't know. Matt Mercer is a pretty phenomenal DM. Certainly. Yeah. I don't know how many of you watched Critical Role last week, but that shopkeeper made me lose my mind for, yeah. Pumat Saul, the Furbolg, who had 3 copies of him in an enchanting store, was might have been the highlight of my week in terms of anything I watched. So yeah. Dacno22, is there any way to obtain old event heroes? Not yet. So what we're planning to do is to implement a way into the game where you can unlock event champions outside of their events. That hasn't taken a firm shape yet, so we don't have anything to share about that feature, except to say that it is coming, and then of course as the list of event champions grows, it becomes more of a priority for us. So we're working on it. Poor Matt's soul. it was yeah. BioGyver. Dylan, is there a set day where you stream? Since most of the time it's around bedtime over here. I can try to get a day off work for next time so I don't have to get up early. I always stream at this time, between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. Pacific, being in the Pacific Northwest, west coast of Canada, / North America. So that's GMT -8, I think. That sounds about right. But yeah, so that's when I stream. Stokey. All right. Let's optimize this just a little bit. At least when I click on this line, all the characters reappear. But that's strange. That's a strange one. Pacific Northwest for the win. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah, those are Justin questions we're saving, so I don't have to answer those. I'm just going to look at this event for a moment because it's, you know, I'm seeing this event for the first time right now as well because I hadn't clicked on it before, and aside from some of the Strix stuff, I hadn't seen anything in advance. So I'm just checking it out. But I'm glad to save this mouse from clicking at the moment. What do you think? Long term, I'm going to buff people in front, probably? So, what's new with you? What else do we have on the go? So obviously the familiars came out. We've received an overwhelming amount of feedback about it. This event is now live. Can I preview anything from what's upcoming still? I mean, there's still so much in this event that hasn't been seen, so maybe I'll save that for a week or two from now. Start talking about what's coming up. Insane Joe, my girlfriend, is very grateful for the familiars. She doesn't yell at me from clicking so much and loudly. Oh, good. Hey, anything to help a relationship. I know my fiance likes it when I'm quieter. So, Anthony Doerden, how on earth do you have that level of damage that quickly? my characters are crazy geared at this point. I mean, between the potions of polish given out for purchases, because I was a player and a purchaser before I actually started working at Codename, and then on top of that, all the, now that I do work at Codename, all the DLCs I get, yeah, my characters are super geared. I mean, look at Bruner. He's got 3 silvers and 3 silver epics, 2 gold epics, and an epic for his gear. And on top of that, I put every one of my blacksmith contracts on Bruner. So, yeah, this is kind of how that rolls. So that's why I have so much damage right away, because the damage honestly starts out pretty good, and then the familiars doing the clicking really helps. Saves my mouse and my wrist. Shadow Dragon. Got any tips on formation optimization when some slots are occupied or unable to be used? That's kind of one of those things, like, so that's a difficult one to answer without having a better idea of how things are changing, but it's kind of, you just gotta kind of remember what optimal types of positions there are for each champion and then be willing to swap them around when needed. You know, you always want Bruner in your DPS row. You always want Calliope and or Celeste probably behind your DPS row. You want, you know, Nayeli in front as close to the enemies as possible, but also in front of your DPS row, and so on. So those things are pretty huge. Yeah. Maybe wipe your feet. Sorry, just reading the dialogue. I don't know how many people tuned in a couple weeks ago when we had Scott Fitzgerald Gray on stream, but he was one of the editors of the 5th edition core rule books, and then one of his adventures from probably 3.5 or 4 was in Tales from the Yawning Portal. It's called Dead and Thay. Scott Fitzgerald Gray now does writing for us, and I'm pretty sure the dialogue in this event was written by him, based on an outline from Justin. But I could be wrong, and when Justin gets here, he may correct me. And the reason I keep saying Scott Fitzgerald Gray is because if you don't say the whole thing, Scott Fitzgerald, that name has been taken by somebody maybe a little more famous. Templar 81. Dylan, do you ever believe that there will be another hero to swap with Bruner? That might be spoiling. Yeah, that might be spoiling. I don't know. You know, certainly we intend to have every slot have swaps, but that doesn't mean that Bruner will swap out, because it's kind of important to us that as a game representing the Forgotten Realms, that Bruner Battlehammer is the first character you see. You know, the first character. So, hey, it's Calliope. So, you know, it's funny. People always ask us for a hide UI, but I don't think what we have going on here is what they were expecting. So yeah, I'd say it's possible. BioGyver, any tips on which champions to use your epic blacksmithing contracts first on? So there's 2 ways to approach it, the way that I see. Save them pretty regularly, but if you get an event champion that you like, due to the window of their events and gearing them, use your event contracts on them. Otherwise, Bruner or whoever else in your party you see as totally essential to everything. You know, like Nayeli and Bruner are pretty safe bets to always be worth using those contracts on, at least at the moment. Regis is comparable to Celeste depending on your gear. You know, Dadius and Calliope are comparable depending on who your DPS is. But yeah, Nayeli and Bruner are pretty safe bets, and your event champions. Sippy231186, familiars are added because Dylan can't play and stream at the same time. Totally. Although, quite frankly, we got a lot of requests for things related to clicking and click damage, and people have talked a lot about auto clickers and that kind of stuff, and it's a functionality that had been we've been toying with and had in the pipeline for something we wanted to implement for quite a while. It was more just a matter of Justin and our team having the time to design and implement it. You know, it's like we have a pretty aggressive content schedule for how frequently things are released that keeps us very, very busy. And so, you know, we were happy to make some headway in that direction right there. Very cool. How many epic fire breath potions do you have, and can you pop one, please? I got tons. I got loot for days. 24. That's how many. Well, that'll blaze through this event. It's totally wasted on my first pass through here, but whatevs. Frost methods. A. Yeah. So very cool. Yeah, 24 of the current epic ones, and I still have one of the old ones. Yeah. Huge expired fiber. I can't bring myself to get rid of it. Because, you know, it did such good things for me. I'm just gonna upgrade click a lot, because if my clickers are doing this for me, then I kind of don't even need to put champions in, because 4 clickers and an epic fire breath potion is gonna tear through the first 50 levels like it's nothing. Man hugs. When can I replace all champions with Deacon Scale Singer? I'll take my answer off the air, thank you. Aside from on Dave's dev computer, if and when we add any super awesome kobold champions to the game, only Dave will be able to have a party of only those champions. Unless another bug crops up, but yeah. That'd be a good one though, right? People like Deacon. Deacon's pretty rad. So I think so I can play with Strix, what I'm actually going to do is when I hit 50, I'm going to immediately finish and unlock Strix, go into either a Sword Coast or a Tomb of Annihilation campaign, and kill 2 enemies and immediately unlock her, because I have such a ridiculous amount of favor in those now. Just to see her out, and then I'll check her out and open the chests, and we'll see how things go. Garwar's Guide to Festival of Fools is already up. Awesome, awesome, Garwar, way to go! You were on it. Event's been alive for like a little over half an hour, so yeah, nicely done. I'm impressed. And if you're in the stream, welcome. And if not, awesome work. Yeah, people wanting Deacon to buff himself. Let's see. Will Chris Perkins himself be added to the game? He is technically part of the Perkins cinematic universe due to an Acquisitions Incorporated game, and Strix is as well. So, I don't know how many of you saw that PAX game where Chris Perkins DM'd Acquisitions Inc. And they met Chris Perkins. It was super meta and an insanely awesome. I watched the stream. I wasn't at PAX. I want to say East or PAX Unplugged or whichever PAX it was on stage at, but it was awesome. And it was, you know, I'm not going to compare dungeon mastering between people, because like I love the DMs that I play with in real life, because they're totally freaking rad. And everybody's creativity is different, and you can expect different things from everyone, and everybody's inspired by everyone and different ideas. And you know, and I love Critical Role, but at the same time, watching that PAX game where Chris Perkins, he did the most meta thing I have ever seen, and he did it so brilliantly and so seemingly impromptu. Like it was, you know, it was obviously directed by where the players wanted to go. It was staggering what he pulled off, and like, to talk too much about it, I feel like would be spoiling it for anybody who hasn't actually watched that Acquisitions Inc. episode. I'm actually going to do a brief search here to find it on YouTube and link it in chat, the specific one, so that I don't give too much away. Because, oh man, it was good. Ooh, ads. Yeah, I'll mute YouTube, thanks. Is this the one? I'm gonna see if this is the one. Let's skip through it quickly. Yeah, this is the one. Oh my god. Alright. Grabbing that link. Dumping it in chat right now, which will show up in chat from me before my words hit you because of magic. But that YouTube link right there to that Acquisitions Inc. game, watch it. Just watch it. If you love D&D, you know, even if you don't like Acquisitions Inc. or even if you don't know the characters or care, totally fine. But watch that one and be absolutely blown away by what Chris Perkins achieves as a DM in that game, because holy shit. Now he doesn't do anything like, you know, everybody's so wonderful in different ways, because obviously Matt Mercer on Critical Role, Pumat's Saul was like, my brain just melted watching it for, I don't know, half an hour, however long they were in that shop. It seemed like they lingered in there longer than they needed to because it was so funny. He sounded like some kind of rural Canadian, that was wonderful. Anyways, I've been going on for a while. Shadow Dragon. Dylan, are there plans to add characters from D&D shows like Critical Role and the like? So obviously we added Strix today. The thing about adding characters to the game that are outside the official canon is that they, well, that's not even the right way of phrasing it. Characters on Dice Camera Action are owned by their players. Characters on Critical Role are owned by whoever. I don't know if it's owned by Geek and Sundry or what. But anyways, a lot of stars need to align in order for us to get these characters in game. And so far we have been extraordinarily lucky to work with people as amazing and excited and happy to work with us as Holly Conrad and before that Joe Manganello. You know, that's why we have Archon in the game, and that's why we have Strix in the game, and like we are hoping to be able to continue to do that. But it's one of those things where like there are no guarantees. There's a million things that need to happen just right in order for it to work. So we would like to continue doing it, and that's the best answer I can give you right now. Snow0815. Is there any difference between the familiars apart from looks, or are they all identical in what they do? They are all functionally identical. The looks can be considered different skins, but yes, they all do the exact same thing. Oh, those giants are new. I haven't even seen these. Maybe I should slow these guys down a bit. Whoop. Oh yeah. Get rid of these. Get rid of these familiars. I want to see these guys a little bit. How about just Chwinga? Just so I can see these dudes, these ogres. Now I am pretty sure that these ogres are from Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. I think. Damn it. I can't remember. You're wondering why champions keep disappearing, Baron Stromgard? Yeah, that's a bug. That's a new one too, because it hasn't happened. Well, excuse me, to me since, well, until just now. Homebrew dwarf. Why does the gazer shoot the ground and Chwinga hurt things with a temper tantrum? Their animations are generic, basically. It's to symbolize that they are clicking there, not that they're trying to target enemies. They're clicking in that spot. So Chwinga is clicking in the spot right here, which is, you know, that one. Oh, I need two of them to pick up the stuff. Otherwise, it's slower. Anyways, yeah, these ogres are dope. Nicely done. Michelle does all our monsters, so, well, most of our monsters, so nice work. Cool. Rocks in my dryer. When dozens of units stack onto the frontmost champion, you can't see their health. Yeah. If mousing over a champion made their health bar visible, it would be extremely helpful. We've thought about that. It's a conversation that has come up more than a few times. It's one of those things where that isn't necessarily the way that we want to fix it, because there's a few other things going on there. There's also let me just get my mage hand back out here. Blah. You know, you're also not able to easily see all the damage being done to different enemies. You're not able to see how many enemies are in a stack. You know, there's a few things like that where it's like, okay, like we're not 100% clear on how we want to deal with it with our with whatever UI option that we opt to go with. Those are good things to badger David about when he joins me on stream. Badger. encourage, to remind Dave about. That sounds nicer. Alrighty, Bailey, leveling up. Does anybody pick anything other than Battlemaster for Bruner? I hope not. Alrighty, what else? Yeah, thanks for reminding me, Colton Xanadu, about having 3 of them to pick up my items. Oh, Kat did the ogres with the crossbows. Okay, yes. Well, nice work, Kat. That was awesome. Yeah, I knew it as soon as I was saying. I'm like, I think Michelle did all these, but I remembered that Kat helped with monsters. I know that Alexis did Strix and is doing, and the next champion after that, and is doing the next champion after that. So yeah. Let's see, Kizamu. I wonder if the game eventually plans on adding a blank champion you can change to your liking, like creating your own character in D&D. That is extremely unlikely. If only because if you stop and think about it, you know, just race class combinations from 5th edition official books, there are hundreds of potential options for one character. Never mind multi-classing or anything more complicated. Because of the way that we design this game, that would require such a staggering amount of preparation on the part of our art and design team that it's just like, it's unlikely to ever happen. I know people really want to make their own character, certainly their own main character, or somebody to be an avatar that resembles a character that they play in game, and I got it. That's why we play D&D. But it's I don't know that it's something that we're planning to do. Everything's dying too fast with these huge epic fire breath potions. I don't know who encouraged me to do that, but so yeah. So Kizamu, I hear you. You know, certainly that's something that if it were possible, we might consider, but I don't know that it is. Justin will probably have a better design related answer to that question when he joins me in like 20-25 minutes. Insane Joe, Dylan, are you telling me you are spoiling Tome of Foes? Spoiling? Previewing? I mean, it's not like you see any of these enemies' stat blocks, right? Or their pages, or their special abilities, or layer abilities, or legendary actions, or any of those things. Morden Canaan's has a half that book is enemies, and these enemies do not mess around. I don't know if how many of you watched Dice Camera Action, not last week, but not this week, but last week, or maybe it was the week before, whichever one, where they ran into a Balhaneth, which is also in Morden Canaan's Tome of Foes, but like that enemy does not mess around, and like its challenge rating is like 11 or 12, or I don't know. It's not super high, but it's still like, it was super dangerous. Yeah. Alrighty. Heroic cat toy. What about some optional skins for the characters? We've talked about that a bit. Again, I don't know if it's something that we would ever pursue. The way that the characters are designed, it could end up being a lot of work. We've had people talk about everything from the fact that, like, obviously once you have epic gear, like the gear that the characters are wearing isn't quite as epic as that. All the characters' outfits are based off their rare gear sets. And so there has been talk about the idea of, like an epic version, or maybe even just an alternative version for a charitable thing or whatever. But we don't have any plans to do it. So yeah. Let's see. Pro King here. I am new to the game and stream. Started playing this game yesterday and watching the stream today. Awesome game. Thank you. Greatly appreciate the developers. Thank you again. Can I see your favor and blessings? So before I show anybody my favor and blessings, keep in mind that I didn't actually use any of my old expired fire breath potions because I didn't want to use scripting to auto-click, and anyways. So I saved them. So I used them when the auto-clickers came out and pushed to level 400 in Tomb of Annihilation, I think, and like 350, 360 or something in Grand Tour of the Sword Coast. which gave me more than enough favor to buy every blessing currently available. So if we check my blessings menu, yeah, 3.14 E13 and everything. And then the same goes for Torms, 219 E14, yeah, and everything. So I am also waiting for tier 4 blessings now. Yeah, man hugs. We sure have to beat up a lot of drunk people in these campaigns. When are we getting our law enforcement paycheck? That's a good point. Yeah, you know, the Sword Coast is filled with drunken brigands. Obviously, I mean that's the real issue here. Prohibition probably wouldn't work for them, but I don't know. I mean, maybe that's the issue. Codename. Is that what? Counted? Is Idle Champions planning on doing anything when the Warriors of Waterdeep mobile game launches? What do you mean? I mean, we'll be supporting our friends in the D&D community for putting out what I assume to be another awesome game. So you know, we will be talking about it and retweeting it, and maybe we'll even have some keys for the game to like for people to unlock it to use. Yeah. So, but I don't know that, like, if you're wondering whether or not we're going to have an event in game to coincide with it or anything like that, I don't believe we are. If only because I don't know if we know the release date on it, which would make it very hard for us to plan anything around it. So, so it's unlikely that we will do any kind of direct tie-in in game like that. But Kanish, yeah, we will certainly be talking about it and supporting, you know, fellow members of the D&D community. Colton Xanadu, Dylan confirms tier 4 blessings to hit before new campaign. No, I didn't. I'm just saying that I am also waiting for them now. Arkin Sunseeker, do the old fire breath potions work with familiars on clicking damage? Yeah, they do. Tallwin, would you mind sharing the formation you used for Torm to push 350 with the epic fire breath? So the formation actually didn't matter for me to do that because it was the 4 auto clickers using fire breath potions stacked that did all that work. I don't even know if I needed more than one character in the formation because they didn't get hit until much higher. But yeah. Kanish. Is that Irish or Welsh or something? Like I read it and I was like, I have no idea how to pronounce that. Because even now that you've told me Kanish, I read it and it doesn't read Kanish to me. So, yeah. Anyways, Tolwyn, I used pretty standard formations. The ones with click damage, the thing that makes them the most helpful is having your overall overall party DPS. This might have been a good time to actually, yeah, because the clickers aren't going to deal with this. I am going to die. Okay, I'm going to go back and set this up a little better. Level up my characters. I'm going with humans. Valor. Yeah, now that I actually need to care about whether or not I get killed by a giant as it walks across the stream. So if anybody's wondering, that giant has a new technical ability called Armored. And what Armored does is super cool. It makes it so that there's a bare minimum of damage needed to be done in order to chink away at his health total, which is pretty ruthless, and is going to make killing him a little bit more challenging than a lot of other enemies. But hey, it's a frost giant, so really it should be tough, right? Isn't that how it works? Melee. Anyway, so I'm going to make it so this party can actually kill a frost giant and then go to that level. Alrighty, let's try this again. This is, I don't know if this is the best formation, but I'm not worried about it right now. I'll figure it out later. Well, Minsk is probably toast, but what else? Oh, I can stun. God, look at that guy. He's huge. That's a big frost giant. Boom! Frost Giant out. All right. Yeah, so that's what I needs to unlock Strix, eh? If you ask me, Faerun's calendar has too many festivals masquerading as excuses for drunkenness. Nice. All right. Let's see this. I'm all on the Strix hype train too, so I wanna see how this goes. How do I have 2,000 hats? Who fish loads? I use contracts. Yeah, I used a couple contracts just to make sure that I had stuff. Persistent foolishness, like father, like son. So the fastest way for me to unlock Strix is actually going to be in this one. Wait, no. Let's do the beast one, then, where everything spawns super fast. Or the mad imps, right? Yeah, wizard. Alrighty, so one enemy. Blunk, most of my bar. And I'll just let this chill out for a bit while I earn enough to unlock Strix. Because I want to see Strix. We all want to see Strix. I'm just going to take a drink here. So, can I show Strix's stats or character sheet? I can't until I unlock her. Because it won't be there. There's Dritz. 2 more slots to go. Alright, I'll speed it up. Wait, no, that's not the thing I need to click on. This thing. Getting there even faster. Swap. Oh, what do you know? I have enough gold. So, Strix's stat sheet. 10 strength, 12 dex, 14 con, 16 intelligence, 11 wisdom, 18 charisma. I don't know what level stat sheet that is, because obviously there have been quite a few over the course of Dice Camera Action, but yeah. The sorcerer known as Strix is from Sigil, the city of doors at the center of the multiverse. Very little is known of Strix's heritage, even to herself, but it was recently discovered that she was a powerful member of the Skizix family, who long ago made a pact with Asmodeus, ruler of the 9 hells, to become tieflings. Strix is careful, suspicious, and paranoid. She assumes the worst in everyone and is always ready to run away or hide. She lacks basic manners and maintains poor personal hygiene, exemplified by the collection of filthy oddities she hoards within her robes, including snacks which she refers to as snickety snooks. So let's open some Strix chests and get this show on the road. Hopefully an epic item isn't in the 10th chest. But at the very least, she will have... Oh, here we go. Super high quality garbage! That's great. Oh, snack-filled witch hat. Oh, RNG. Polished pot of Stinky's ashes. Why am I getting so many epics all at once? That's weird. I am surprised. That's not usually how this goes. Usually I get like 1 or 2 every 10 chests. It's not a complaint. I'm just surprised. Just a little bit surprised. Yeah, Xanoth Aveneth. Yeah, streamer luck. Yeah. What bullshit is this? Me getting all these epics. All right. Well then. Half trash. Okay, so what kind of group do we have? Let's swap to Makos, because it's tieflings, right? Tiefling DPS formation. Alrighty. Dun, dun, dun. Actually, she's smart, so I'm gonna daddiest it up. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, right when I was about to put her down. Can you see that, guys? Right when I was about to put her down. Let's have her with Minsk. And let's just see how this goes. Blessing. Friendly. Downloading effect. Oh, yeah. Which one am I doing right now? This is the Beast one, right? Is that what I clicked on? I can't remember. Oh, it's the Fiend one. Dag nammit. Alrighty. Magic. She knows magic, that's why. It's going to take a little while for this to get up to speed. But I am curious to see how far I can push on this run. I can worry about completing her event later. But there is a Strix formation. Somebody will probably do a thing on 5.75 second cooldown. Barrowin viable. Uh-oh. Strix meta incoming. So, there's Strix. Okay, Obo Crazy. Since Strix is showing up in your game, when do you get to show up on DCA? When do the Codename crew get to come play D&D in Renton? Wow. Well, I would. God, I'd be so terrified to be a guest character in a Chris Perkins D&D stream. I'd probably just get killed right away. Yeah, just like as soon as he feels like I'm upset enough, it's like, all right, you're dead, you're out. That would be fun though, wouldn't it? Who wouldn't want to play D&D in Renton? C Midrifty. Any chance of considering extending the valid times for redeeming the chess codes on other streams? It's a major bummer for international viewers and players. They expire so quickly. No. And the reason being that, so those times are actually set not by us, but by those streams. And they are designed to encourage people to... they're designed to encourage people to check out our friends' streams. So like the whole point is that they're active during the stream and within a short window of it. You know, we give away a chest every week on our stream. We also give out a chest every week in our newsletter, and we have a ton of partners who also give out chests. So like the purpose is not that one person can open you know, a dozen free gold chests every week. That's not the intent. So yeah. So she just chucks green fireballs. Awesome. But let's wait and unlock that ultimate ability eventually. So yeah, it's kind of one of those things. Yeah, like nobody is intended to be able to get all of them. You know, the live stream code, the one over there, that one lasts for 24 hours after the end of the stream. But the newsletter codes last forever. So like your best bet for any codes is always going to be the ones that you get from the newsletter. But yeah, we're not intending to extend the times for chess codes on other streams. We would rather you watch those streams. That's really it. We're glad that people are sharing chess codes. You know, yeah. Dungeon Drunks, Lauren Urban's podcast. Their codes are open live for a week. You know, there's Perception Check. There's all of Maze Arcana streams. There will likely be. I don't know if we talked to them yet, but there. You know, when Girls Guts Glory gets started again, you'll probably be able to get one there as well. Yeah, there's codes all over. But like, yeah, we want to encourage people to be an active part of the community for these streams. So, yeah. Happy Bob Loves You is asking how to know where all those codes are. There is a list in our official Discord, in the player resources, I think is where Archimedes put it. Our official Discord is discord.gg/idlechampions. I haven't plugged it yet today, but it's kind of where I always direct people to go when they have, you know, they want formation information or they have questions about things, etc. Because it's a very active community, and it's a very positive community. You can get information about the game, all aspects of the game, much of it even more deeply than what I know about it, from the players in there. So yeah, right up to and including the math on why one character is better than another character, what formations are mathematically optimal, and how to use different things. So it's all there. Bethel95. Do you guys think about adding more characters from Neverwinter Online? We got Makos and Celeste already. We need Sergeant Nox and Zuna now. We have no shortage of characters in the pipeline to add to the game. But thanks for the feedback. Tila. Any chance that new players like myself will ever get a shot at a time-sensitive champions that are no longer available? Yes, eventually. It'll happen in a couple ways. First, not all of our events, but we will have annual events, in which case you will be able to get access at that character every year. And then we are also going to add another way to unlock event champions outside of events, and also other ways to gear them up. We just haven't come up with the system yet for how we want to do it, so we don't have anything to share about it. But it will happen. BioGyver, how can one earn epic gear for an event champion when the event is over? Currently, so you can't normally, but we do sometimes do weekend promotions where you know, there's a buff for a few characters over the course of a weekend and a special chest that is only for them. And sometimes the champions from our events are included in there, in which case it's an opportunity for you to get equipment for those characters. So I see there's another raffle. So, oh, excuse me. So Justin will be joining me in a few minutes here. Assuming, although he's definitely busy at the moment, but he should be joining me any moment now. Good luck on the raffle. That is for a Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition Steam key. So join us. I was tempted to be playing that on stream today, but I wanted to unlock Strix, and there she is, just trucking away, chucking fireballs at stuff. So let's have a look at Strix's abilities here. Oh, I haven't unlocked anything yet. Okay, well, fine then. She's still level 1. Well, let's look at her items. Cat spent a lot of time on these. Flavorful Snacks increases her damage. Snack-filled Witch Hat also increases damage. What? There's all that wasted space. Polished Pot of Stinky's Ashes increases the DPS of all champions. Super High Quality Garbage increases the effect of Strix's Poor Hygiene ability. I do know what that ability is, but I will let everybody see it. This item puts a debuff on enemies. Mystical Rune Staff increases the damage of the ultimate, and then ultimate cooldown. Cool. Warm Owlbear Cloak. It makes sense that the staff is tied to the ultimate and not just a straight up DPS increase, because her ultimate ability uses her staff and transmogrifies it into different things. And there's more than one thing it can do, which is, well, we'll see it. But yes, Poor Hygiene. Enemies approaching your formation take extra damage due to Strix's unique odor. So she also has a debuff that increases damage against enemies coming in. Which probably means that Justin's going to nerf her because she's already too good. But no, she's. I'm excited to see how people do with her. If anybody has any advice for me on my formation right now and how to make it better, keep it to yourself, because I don't want to hear it. But maybe what I will do is Stokey. Oh wow, that's a DPS drop. Maybe I will leave it then. Yeah. So you could even have Strix and Arcan. There they are together. Holly Conrad and Joe Manganello. How sweet is that? So, what else you got for me? Any other questions before Justin drops? And back at you. Dylan, if I buy a gold chest, do I have an opportunity to get loot for Strix? If you buy the right kind of gold chest. If you buy regular gold chests, no. The basic ones, like these ones, just gold chests, will not contain Strix loot. But if you visit the shop right now, Festival of Fools, boom. These chests are for Strix loot only. And there's actually a really awesome benefit to that. I mean, not to just totally plug sales shamelessly, because I don't generally like to do that, but like, you spend at least $10, you get one of the items will be shiny, in addition to getting the golden shiny over here, or the golden epic. So, like, yeah, you could have her really tricked out. And with the loot protection, the pity timer on opening chests and getting epics, Like, let's say hypothetically you did get the $50 one, you would be guaranteed to have 5 shiny epics and 1 golden shiny epic for Strix. But yeah, at the same time, if you are free to play, which is totally cool with us, and you're not using contracts, you will get enough tokens over the course of the event to be able to complete all the variants and get about, I want to say it's like 7 or so guaranteed gold Strix chests. So you know, you at the very least you'll be able to gear her out in rare equipment. So there is that option as well. And then depending on RNG, because at the end of every free play in an event, you have a chance to get a silver or gold chest related to the event after you've passed level 50. It's a 1 in 3 chance to get a gold. There is no pity timer on it, so every once in a while people, all their attempts will just get silvers, but sometimes you'll get a whole bunch of golds in a row, so we'll see. But yeah, that is the best way to do it right now. Yeah, I don't have anything else to share. Beat Crushers. Do we know if there are any dice camera action spoilers in the new event? There are not. We have no freaking clue what Chris Perkins is going to do to them next. You're better off following him on Twitter and hoping that he cryptically says something in advance. But I'm pretty sure what's going to happen is they're going to be tortured more, and you're going to watch it and be horrified and still kind of like it. So, you know, maybe we're all just a little bit masochistic that way. Yeah, Colton Xanadu, I got 14 consecutive silvers in the last event. It hurt bad. I'm sorry, man. That sucks. It happens sometimes. Yeah. Demerin Silverblade, the token drop rate is not 2 a minute. It's 1 every... yeah, no. 120 an hour. Every 30 seconds. Yeah, that sounds about right. 2,880 a day. Yeah. Yeah, that is correct. Yeah. And next week during stream, we will have a stream code for a golden Strix chest, and our guest will be Holly Conrad, and we will be talking about Strix and Strix related things for the first hour of the stream while she's around. Alrighty, magenta shirt. Will there ever be a way to change the slot characters swap in, like Strix is swapped into slot 12, not in 11? No, that's not going to happen. I don't actually need Justin for that one because I know the answer is no. So, Shazos S, can the auto progress be activated on default when starting an adventure? You know, that's something I keep asking for too. If not default, at the very least for it to remember what you had it previously selected to. Yeah. Alrighty, Stinky Strix is now active. Oh, there's another one here. What is this? If a champion within 2 slots of Strix is about to get killed, Strix revives them at 50% of their max health and takes 50% of her max health in damage. If she can take that much damage without dying, and it can only do once every 30 seconds. Oh. Strix is protection to keep your tank alive. Cool. That's awesome. Yeah. I should probably have Tyrell in here from Moonbeam, eh? Yeah, that's what I should be doing right now. All right. Just gonna level these guys up, and then like stare at the door because Justin should have walked up to it by now. So I'm gonna have to poke him. Yeah. Just type that into chat because Justin is in a meeting that he is supposed to be leaving early to join on stream. Now he's late, so let's have to wait for that. I mean, I suppose I could walk over the wall and like you can't see it, it's green screen, but just like hit it a few times to like signify that he's supposed to be in here. So yeah. Delverton question: what distractions are clickable? For example, birds. If you see something moving in the background, you should click on it. Also, we are planning to add more things to click on in the background. I don't know what the ETA is on it, but it will happen. Yeah. Alrighty. Have Justin stream by yelling back and forth through the wall. OG17. Yeah, that would be great. Except that, like, I mean, as thin as the walls are here, and they're pretty thin, you still wouldn't hear what he's saying. It would just be like, burr, 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 burr. Yeah. He's gonna be 2 minutes. I'm just gonna stay here, watching Strix kill things. It was pretty sweet. I like green fireballs. Huh. Bird down. I know Strix would not approve, but you know. We briefly entertained the idea of clicking on a bird giving a buff when Strix is in the party, but we scrapped it. We didn't end up doing that. Oh, hey, Maze Arcana. Hello there. How are things? If anybody hasn't been watching it or checking it out already, check out Sirens of the Realms if you like music, or Inkwell Society, which is on Wednesdays, which is on in yesterdays, for a noir Eberron campaign that is ambitious. Their characters are level 0 and super vulnerable, so you should totally check it out. Rudy Rutenberg does that, DMs that one, and Satine Phoenix DMs Sirens of the Realms. Check it out. It's awesome. Yeah. Meanwhile, awesome Ruby, do you plan on any way to find out the enemy creature type? Would be neat to hover over. Very hard to use the Crusaders buff now. Yes, that is an issue. That is an issue. We've talked about a few ways of doing it. We've had people request a bestiary for the game, which would be a massive undertaking. The only thing that you could do right now to try and figure it out is the monster types matches their monster types in the monster manual, or Volo's Guide to Monsters, or Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. They are 5e accurate monster types. Now that said, if you don't know that off the top of your head, which many people don't, we will be at some point putting something into the game that will allow you to figure that out, but we haven't gotten to it yet. So yeah, anyways, that door closing is the sound of Justin coming into the room, so I can now swap over and you can start asking. We can start asking the Justin questions now.
Oh my gosh! Hey guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I should turn your mic on too.
Turn my mic on. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh god, there's like headphones and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Just sitting here playing with Strix.
Oh yeah, how's Strix working out?
You know, it's funny. So I had 10 Strix chests waiting to open just to try her out.
Of course.
And I had 3 epics in them, and I was like, and everybody's like, Devluck, what is this? Like in chat. So that was
hi guys. Sorry I'm late.
Yeah.
Someone else's fault.
Yeah. There's a ton of questions here waiting.
Excellent.
Here for you. Jeez.
I hope they're all about Strix and none about familiars.
First question: with the addition of familiars, the damaged. With the addition of the 3 purchase-only familiars the game has, its first items that are paid for that cannot be obtained through play. Is this going to be a continuing fad?
No, I mean, with the familiars, we wanted to give you some that were free, and we wanted to also provide some that were not free. But if we're going to add more familiars, we'll probably go down both routes, adding more free ones and more non-free ones, keeping a balance there. But you know, at the end of the day, we have to have something paid in there so that we can pay the rent here in the office and
recoup the cost of making
stuff. Yeah.
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 Oh, this is interesting. So Lisa, can we start events with 100 tokens instead of sub 100?
So the funny thing about the number of tokens you actually start with, it's actually based off of when the start date is set in the database, and basically we just kind of round that to the nearest 15 minutes whenever we do a push, which is why sometimes you start with like 30 and sometimes you start with a bit more, and if we're really bad and we like forget to update that, you start with like a few hundred or 1,000. So we don't actually intentionally start you with any tokens when an event starts. It's just kind of, it's a little bit random based on the amount of time that the push took and the last time that we updated the
You can increase your attack
database
timer?
Yes, you can.
That's...
Isn't that an interesting synergy with certain other champions?
Yeah. I'm just going to do this little thing where I swap here.
Oh, I don't know why you would want her.
Oh, yeah, she's totally garbage.
Oh, interesting.
Alrighty. Well, let's try that out. No familiars, no buffs, nothing going on. Just some gear. Just gonna see how far it goes.
Familiars are good.
Well, of course, the stream's gonna end long before I get anywhere, but whatever. Maybe we just need to speed up the first 50 levels. So, pretty sure it has been asked or said already, but here goes. Will there be chests on the normal adventure free plays some days, like maybe a silver at 50, chances of a gold after 50, kind of thing?
Yeah, I assume you mean event or no?
I think they mean just free play rewards, like.
Oh, I see. Like how an event free play you get a chest when you finish. No, I don't think we'll. I don't normally like saying no to things because obviously things can change. But in this case, I don't see any reason we would do that. Just because you get a ton of chests, you get a ton of gems just from playing normally. And free plays are essentially the sort of, once you're done all of the variants and adventures, they're the way that you play the game. So I think you already get quite a good bonus from playing. So I don't see any reason to do that, honestly.
Okay. How about an alchemy lab where one could combine like 4 potions into a potion of the next upgrade?
That's a cool idea. Sure. Yeah. I mean, someday maybe.
All right.
I can't say we've ever thought of that, but
alchemy lab confirmed
but
next week.
No.
Yeah.
But it's a cool idea. Yeah.
Blubberton, is it safe to assume that the familiars are the changes to clicking that were mentioned in the changelog? Is there no plan to do something about how clicking becomes irrelevant by around half your wall level?
Yeah. So the familiars are what we were referring to in the coming soon in the changelog. Which is not to say that there aren't plans to try and fix the clicking and that whole wall. The concern with clicking is always that we don't want you to be able to just click through to your wall by clicking only and never have to buy any of the champions. It kind of takes the champions out of idle champions of the Forgotten Realms, and it's just idle clicker of the Forgotten Realms. So we do want to do something with clicking because we feel like it falls off a little bit early, but and there's no real way to sort of increase it except by just getting more gold. And so down the road I could see us playing with that, but we don't have any immediate plans to change that. Maybe in the big balance update, which is coming whenever it comes. Not soon.
Not today. Okay. Could we get an alternative animation for non-lethal encounters? For example, the fool gets tied to a chair. Yeah, we do murder everybody, right?
We do, and that's mainly just because of art resources. We don't have a lot of extra art resources, a lot of extra art time. We get stuff done on time, but not in time to do a bunch of alternative animations for stuff like that. So unfortunately, we're just gonna have to, much like a lot of D&D, a lot of that stuff's just gonna have to be in your own imagination.
Okay, this is an interesting one from Happy Bob Loves You. So far, I have lost 2 shiny items because of golden items replacing them. Any word on some kind of bonus for duplicate shinies or golden replacing a shiny? I paid for many of my shinies, so I think it'd be fair to get a free potion of polish or something. Yeah,
I think we've been talking internally about making it so if you get a golden, you would get a potion of polish if the item was already shiny. We just haven't solidified that or gotten around to it. So I think, yeah, we want to do something so it feels a little bit better when you replace a shiny with a golden.
Okay. OG17 wants to know if we can have different Bruners like 90s Batman toys. Scuba Bruner, Giant Claw Bruner, Jetpack Bruner, etc.
I think that'd be really cool. I've been trying to push that. And what were we trying to do? Pirate Brunor for like Talk Like a Pirate Day. We're just not we're not sure if that'll get past Wizards.
It's true. I mean, they didn't want him to be in his adventuring armor instead of his ornate stuff. So
yeah, so I think that'd be cool. I think it'd be really fun to have sort of alternative skins for champions. But there's a question of whether that fits with sort of the D&D brand, the Forgotten Realms setting, that sort of stuff. But it'd be really, I think it'd be really cool.
Pirate costumes for everybody. Timrid Silverblade. I am guessing familiar system will be polished a little in time. Was wondering if including them in formation saves is in your future plans. It is not a huge problem, but will help a lot in placing them every single run, since they are mostly used in quick gem runs at the moment.
Yeah, I totally want to get them into the formation saves. As a lot of people have sort of surmised, this is sort of version 1 of the familiar system. So I think there will be sort of changes we'll make over time, and one of those will be getting them into the formation saves. It just wasn't a super easy thing to do for the first version. So yeah, I think we'll see them in there at some point.
Okay. Let's see. Will you make another character that buffs Gold Find?
Yep, I'm sure we will. Down the road, for sure.
Alrighty, Bioatom 5742. Upgrade all with a familiar slot for it. Would be nice something to have. Yeah,
I agree. That would be nice to have. We're probably not going to do specifically that, but I think we will down the road. I think making the familiars that upgrade your champions a little bit better is something that's floating around in my mind right now about how to do that. Maybe you place him on one and he also levels like the 2 adjacent seats. Maybe that's a way to go about that, because then with just 4 familiars you could have every single one of your heroes being leveled.
Oh yeah.
You know, there's a lot of sort of ideas, and if you guys have any sort of suggestions or ideas down that road, you know, please post them in the Discord. I know we've got a boatload of our people here read the Discord all the time.
It's true. Mark lurks in it a lot too.
Mark does, absolutely, yeah.
Chomp the Spear. Is there any discussion regarding bringing in a fan and player of the game and creating a champion in their likeness? Garwar, for example.
Oh,
at least that wasn't from Garwar. That would have been shameless.
That's just his alternate account there, Chomp the Spear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool someday down the road. We don't have any plans to do that right now, and again, that becomes another sort of question around Wizards approvals and like who owns the IP, and there's a lot of sort of complex legal stuff in that, which is stuff that we have to sort through for any time we bring in a champion that isn't from like a published Dungeons and Dragons work. We have those sort of questions. So you know, I think that'd be really cool. It'd be a really cool way to interact with you guys and do something cool for you, but no immediate plans for that.
Let's see. Sippy. Well, what about adding a spot so clickers can auto-kill birds?
Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. I know we've gotten requests for the clicking ones to also click the distractions, but I could see adding a spot that specifically clicks distractions.
They just cruise around there and then just like bam, hit the bird.
Yeah, it's sort of a question of which one you put your guys in. I think as we go down the road and we add more familiars down the road, I think we'll be looking for sort of unique uses for them. So I think that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
We also want to add more familiars too, or not familiars, distractions as well. That's actually, we've got a little bit of free time right now, and that's something we're actively working on, trying to fill out the non-forest areas with distractions. So
more Chwingas.
Yeah.
Let's see. Stills 101. Will familiars at any point in the future have a built-in timer so they can trigger ultimates on an individual hero at a set time?
I think, yeah, I think we do want to sort of improve the ultimate familiars. I think they're a little bit kind of random right now, and you have to kind of assign a bunch of them there to get them to actually use the ultimate you want reliably.
Yeah.
For example, I assume Makos is one that a lot of people want to use.
How much can they farm with Makos if it's just his going off all the time? Is it a 4-minute timer, I think?
I am not sure off the top of my head what the base timer is.
Do I have his thing?
I do have him there. Circle of Death. 169, so just under 3 minutes.
That's with the
shiny. Oh no, just an epic.
So 3 minutes plus 90, so 4.5 minutes, I guess, default, give or take.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Like that.
I think he's one of the longer ones. Him and Jam have pretty long ones.
All right, so let's see. How about being able to deactivate and get at least a portion of gold back? How about deactivating a character and being refunded for... Oh, okay, so characters. Being able to refund champions.
This is like on a run, you just want to refund one?
I imagine they only want however many characters that they need to fill their formation at the start, and then once they get to their final formation, they want to remove some amount of slots.
I don't think we'll do that, and the reason is I don't think it's really all that useful because of the way the numbers scale in the game. If you were to like refund all the levels for another character, you probably wouldn't even get enough gold for one more level of the guys that you actually want to level.
No, even if it gave you a full refund, it would be like the way that it scales up.
One of the things you'll notice is if you only level like a couple of guys, you're able to level other guys up to a similar power level without really impacting your gold very much. Like if you level everyone up, it's not like your gold goes down to 0. Your gold goes down to like maybe 2 orders of magnitude lower than sort of your highest cost. So I don't think we'll do that, just because I don't think it would be as useful as you think it might be.
Okay. Alrighty, Ice Slayer 42. You have been pretty opinionated that the company wouldn't add auto clickers and auto alts. Was that misinformation to avoid spoilers, or was it news to you?
I'm not sure.
I don't think we ever said anything about auto clickers.
No.
I think the only opinion that we had about anything related to that was that we had no official stance on scripting.
Yeah. I mean,
which is what people have been using to auto click so far.
Yeah. I don't think we've ever said that we wouldn't add auto clickers or auto ults or anything like that to the game. So yeah.
Well, I think the automatic ults we have talked about on stream, like that we didn't want to do it because it would just be more DPS, like more passive DPS.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I guess we've said before that we didn't want ults to just automatically go off, but I feel like the familiars is an interesting sort of compromise to that request, because it's a choice of having to put familiars there in order to do that. It's not like you just get that for nothing. So.
Should I use her ult? Everything dies in a hit to everybody, so it's not like you even see it.
No, you can see her ult, because her ult causes her staff to change. And now she's got Waffles.
Check it out, it's Waffles.
Is that the right name of it?
Yeah, that one's Waffles.
That's Waffles. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Right.
Buffs her damage dramatically.
She's
got 3 Barrowin stacks. What is this?
Oh, yeah.
Overpowered nonsense.
That might be
4 stacks.
Ruh-roh. Ermagerd exploits.
Yeah. That's funny.
Might want to look at that. Mark, fix it.
Yeah, actually, she stopped attacking.
Yeah, it's because Waffles attacks for her.
Oh, he attacks. Okay, so what's his timer then? Oh, okay, so it's just the order because everybody's dying.
Yeah, it's kind of
weird. I'll do that again at a higher level.
I'm not sure why that happened, actually. Because she should have...
He's doing it now. They're both attacking now.
Yeah.
It's just a weird delay there because there weren't enough enemies, I guess.
Well, no one's even getting stacks now when Barrowin attacks. Oh, well.
Anyways. We'll look at it.
Mark fixed it already.
Yeah.
Live in your game.
It sounds like there are plans to allow unlocking event characters outside of events. Will there also be an ability to gear said champions outside of events? If not, unlocking them isn't very useful.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much we've said about that or anything except for saying that we're open to the idea of doing that. So I don't think we have too much to talk about.
I keep telling them we don't have anything official to share about it.
Yeah, we don't really have anything official to share yet. We're still sort of mulling a lot of that stuff over in our minds. But it is, especially with the release of Strix, and like there's going to be a lot of chatter about that in the Strixiverse, and we want to make sure that people who catch up late will have a chance to unlock Strix before this time next year. So it is something we're definitely thinking about, but we don't really have an ETA or any sort of specifics on it yet.
Yeah. Insane Joe, wish the familiars would hop from person to person, slowly clicking and upgrading them instead of only one.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea, having them sort of move around on the formation. I think there's some options there for how we want to sort of implement the familiars and make them a little bit more useful for leveling up your guys. We don't really have any specific ideas of how we're going to adjust those for you right now, though. But keep the suggestions coming; those are really good for us.
All right, BioAtom, make a Baldur's Gate 2-like sub-game for the questing characters. Beat the stage, and earn a reward. Are you going to nerf Strix? I don't know about Baldur's Gate 2. That's it's totally not something that we have access to or own or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Are you going to nerf Strix?
I don't know. We'll see. I think Strix is pretty good. We didn't want to run into a situation where like we hype up this champion, we put her out, and then like Jamila's just by default better than her in all situations. So we tried to make her sort of have some unique abilities that are outside the box, and with any luck, she'll be just the perfect power level, and we won't have to take the scalpel to her stuff. In general, I mean, my general design philosophy is unless something's like super exploitive broken, I tend not to like to do like one-off nerfs. But with that said, once we get to the big balance update, which is something we've only sort of talked about in general terms, once we get there, I think we'll see, we'll sort of go through each champion and be like, is this champion too OP? Is this champion too underpowered? And try to pull them all towards a central sort of power level. So
cool.
You know, I could see if Strix is too OP now, or if Krond is too OP now, I could see nerfing both of them down the road.
Okay.
Krond is way too powerful right now.
Right now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
I'll just pull him in the format now. All right, Kizamu, is there going to be a way to minimize champions that you don't level them up?
So this is just about just being removing them from the bar. Yeah, we've got that request quite a bit. I think that would be a pretty useful sort of UI thing, but I don't really have any idea of when we could fit that into the production schedule. And I'm not sure where we'd put the toggle for that. There's a lot of questions around that. It's not as simple as just being like, now you can do that.
Can we get more rewards added to distractions? Unique currency, gems, or chests?
We're probably not going to have distractions drop gems or chests, just because I think it's already really easy to farm a lot of those. But I could see adding some more interesting things to those down the road. I think distractions are kind of a fun little unique thing in the game that rewards active play. So I could see expanding that out down the road, but no real specifics on that.
Okay. Shiny item fix when?
As soon as we get around to it. Yeah, I don't have an ETA on it yet. I don't think it'll be that much work to do. It's just a matter of finding time in the schedule to dive into the code. The chest code is really pretty scary.
I imagine it's pretty elaborate at this point after the adding all the changes last time around.
Yeah. There's some. It can be pretty fragile. I think the reason I haven't just gone in and done it is just because I'm worried that making a little change there could snowball into some sort of bigger issue, and so I want to make sure that I really take the time to do it right when I go in and do it.
Okay. Let's see. Hey Justin, I was told to bug you about this. Now I usually say David for UI stuff. Is there any chance that in the future we'll be able to mouse over a champion to see their circle below them, their health bar, etc.?
Yeah. I would like to at some point kind of rejigger the formation circles, but I don't have an ETA on that. I think we went into the design of the game with a couple of assumptions about how those circles would be used and how they would be useful. And I think the way the game's shaken out, they're not as useful as we were hoping they would be, so I could definitely see playing with those down the road. We're doing some experimentation with it right now, but nothing that's going to be out in the Steam version of the game anytime soon.
Okay. And then another question related to rewards for areas is like golds and silvers and such for pushing further.
No, sorry, still no plans to do that.
Alrighty, let's see. What about making clicking like a mini fire breath all the time and make it scale based on party damage?
That's an interesting sort of option to it. Yeah, I mean, could do. It's an interesting option.
Alrighty.
Thank you for the suggestion.
Okay, here we go. This is interesting. Very cool. For champions like Strix and Archon, is the character's player involved in the writing of the flavor text?
So it depends on who we're working with. For Strix, I know we spent a lot of time going over the art with her. Like our artists here chatted with her quite a bit, trying to get the art just right. Oh, there's Waffles again.
Well, Holly's in chat right now asking to see Waffles, so there's Waffles. You got your little plushie. Wait a few seconds, and
I don't know, you noticed, but like she carries the plushie around.
Yeah, she's carrying the plushie.
I'm not sure if she does anything. I think she was going to like. I don't know. There was going to be like an animation where she like hugged it when she was attacking, or when Waffles was attacking, but I guess it didn't quite get in.
Alrighty. Scourge of Niltoth. Can you hint at upcoming characters?
Let me think. Yeah. So obviously we've got the Trash Witch in this update. She's awesome, super OP. I think in the next update, the next event that's coming out, we're going to see a character, a champion that let's just say is not necessarily from this plane. Let's say that.
So Strix is also not from this plane.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Another character that's not from this plane.
Yeah. Another one from Chomp the Spear / Garwar. Any chance we can get some random vocal sound dialogue from the characters while they're trudging along? For example, a random joke told by a random champion.
I think that'd be really, really cool.
Joke you lie.
We're not a big enough studio to afford that kind of
like all the elevator talking in Mass Effect back in the day.
That kind of writing and voice work and whatnot. That'd be really cool though if we if we had
just took a joke book and threw it in there.
Yeah.
Bruner and Jarlaxle can just bullshit their whole way through.
If I had my druthers, we had infinite monies. Oh my gosh.
Alrighty, any plans on adjusting champion specialties to make some characters have a reason to use another option? For example, Bruner.
Yep, absolutely. That's one of the things we want to do when we get to our big balance update is make sure that every specialization has some place where you would use it. Okay. We don't really have that. Like Bruenor, he's obviously got the rally specialization. Yeah. His other one is his inspired ability, which just increases his own damage. But obviously, like no one uses Bruenor really for pure damage because he only hits one guy. His damage doesn't really scale up as high as others, though it does still scale up pretty high. So I think it's mainly that he only attacks one guy, and he attacks kind of at a wonky speed that makes him really, really not as good for that, or he's just better at the other thing. Anyway, we do want to try and play with that down the road, and make it so every spec has at least some use.
Holly is saying that she's willing to send voice clips, so if you want screaming, she'll send it.
Thanks, Holly. We'll be in touch.
The only sound effect in the game is all the slashing sounds, and then Strix going ah, and she throws fireballs. That'd be wonderful. Let's see. Okay, suggestion: blacksmithing contract should upgrade the lowest item of the targeted hero rather than a random item.
Thanks for the suggestion. I guess the idea with blacksmithing contracts is that they would be essentially like just getting a random item of that rarity, and so the randomness is kind of intended. It's basically like a kind of item you get from a chest that can kind of morph into a random item for another guy. They just can't upgrade the items, obviously, but so it's not really the design intention that they're used to bring all your items up to the same sort of level. They're really just intended to boost sort of randomly. So it's a cool suggestion, and I'm not going to say 100% no to that, but it's not really what we're thinking of those like right now.
Okay. Let's see. This one from Portland Ace. Justin, what would you like to see added to the game in the future?
Oh, good question.
Hint,
so
hint.
The thing I am most excited about in the future, aside from those balance tweaks down the road, is our tanking and healing update, which we'll do a big dev blog for before we actually do it. But I'm really looking forward to being able to make more tanks than just Naili viable. And I'm really looking forward to saying goodbye to the days of tanking 100 enemies at your wall, because your guys just have infinite health. So I'm really looking forward to when we eventually get around to doing that. I think it's going to be a really interesting design challenge for myself and the other people here. But I think it's going to change the game in a very good way for the long run, where like tanking and healing actually becomes part of what you have to think about instead of just purely damage. So that's what I'm excited about.
Giant Dwarf suggests that achievement DPS also affects click damage.
Yep, it's not a bad idea.
Doomhammer time. Off topic, can you make slot swap works in Crusaders like here? Auto-place that Crusader in formation.
So this is the question about Crusaders. Yeah, I mean, I really like that functionality. I think it's really useful. I don't know. I don't think Kevin is probably not listening to this.
No.
But Erica, you can just.
He's probably
Kevin
either winning at Fortnite or working. Yeah. The only one who wins regularly.
Yeah, a lot of the issue with porting a lot of these features back into Crusaders is just the Crusaders code base is, shall we say, not as open to modification as this code base. So it takes a lot more effort to get features like that into Crusaders than it does into Champions.
Just run a room. She's riding her broom now. Check it out.
Yeah. Sweet. She attacks twice as fast while riding her broom.
Oh, really? That's why she keeps killing everything. Okay. Sweet.
Yeah.
She hits harder too, right? I assume. Or she just attack faster?
I'm not sure if there's a damage modifier on that one. I'd have to check the spec.
It still says the default cast time on it, but
yeah.
Still. Cool. All right. All right. Next, for new players who have missed a lot of event champions, will events recycle?
Yes. So if you ever play Crusaders, you know that what we do in Crusaders is every year we just add another tier to the event. So you can play the sort of year 1 event, and then once you're done that, you can play the year 2 event. So we'll probably do something similar to that. We haven't really nailed it down 100% for champions. But you'll be able to, in whatever we do, you'll be able to get the same champions from this year when the event repeats next year. So I think we'll end up with having 17 repeatable events every year, something like that. And so, yeah, you'll be able to get those champions again when they start up.
Sweet.
Especially Stokey.
Fake, will anyone else from the Waffle Crew make an appearance? That's
a great question. Oh, I know who the Waffle Crew is.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Don't insult my fandom of Waffle Crew. Love the Waffle Crew. I can't really say actually yet. I think that'd be pretty cool. Then we could have like a cool variant where you can only use the Waffle Crew guys, and you go in and then they just all die on you. It's really sad.
Alrighty. Yeah, Strix needs her friends. She loves them. Alrighty, let's see. Any chance we could get traps to hit our parties? Perhaps having a rogue that could disarm them.
Yeah, I think that'd be a cool mechanic. I could see that for like a specific variant or something where there's traps, or a specific adventure where there are traps. I'm not really sure how we'd implement them really, but I think that'd be a cool thing to add. We talked about that in our original design as being something in the game. I think that kind of turned into the sort of static distractions, like the non-crow distractions, like the rock and the thing, and maybe having like certain traps back there that you can, or distractions that you can only trigger if you have certain people in your party or stuff like that.
I have an idea for that actually to run past you after this is over because it'd take too long to explain on stream.
Okay.
Easy to show though. Mars of the Manor. What are your most liked and least liked game mechanics currently in the game?
So I think I already talked about my least like one, which is just the way that tanking and healing works right now. I'd really like to change that. What are my most liked mechanics? That's a good question. See, as a designer, I really only think about the stuff that I don't like about the game, because that's the stuff I want to change. And the stuff that I don't think about ever is the stuff that's like, oh, this is fine. I guess the one thing I like that's sort of an improvement over Crusaders is the fact that upgrades keep coming. You don't just, like in Crusaders, we only have 7 upgrades ever. And so once you get to the max upgrade, the damage just goes up sort of naturally as you buy more levels. So I think having more granularity over that in this game is something that I really like, and it allows us to have champions that have these sort of different power spikes at different times. So maybe at level, when you're in area like 150 or whatever, maybe Jamila is a better champion for doing damage. But maybe when you get up to level 180, because of the way the upgrades have been structured, maybe Minx is better now. Obviously gear and stuff also comes into play there. But being able to sort of have more fine control over that is really is something I really enjoy about this game.
Okay. Who's your favorite hero?
I really liked how Birdsong turned out. I think I've tried to be using her for my main DPS as much as possible. I just really love that she ramps up. Like, as she gets better, she gets better. Like, she ramps up as she kills stuff. And I think it's really satisfying to, like, use her ultimate and have, like, be near your wall and use her ultimate, and all of a sudden your damage is, like, 10 times higher. And then you, like, every hit's like an ultimate hit. And it's really, really just satisfying to power her up, essentially, and have that power up button.
Cool.
What about you?
Aside from Strix, I don't know that I like any of the other characters as much as Strix, but Darius's ultimate is my favorite one to cast.
Oh, yeah.
Because you hit it and it's, a level 50,000 magic missile, and he just rips it off against every target on screen.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I used to just like wait at a wall and just be like, wait, as it like builds up, and then like click, and he's like, just fires all the magic missiles off and kills everything.
You should have seen the very first version of that. There was no delay between the magic missiles going out. So he just put his hand up, and then 100 magic missiles appeared from his hand, and the game slowed down to like 2 frames per second, and then everything died, and then the ultimate was over, and we're like, we're probably going to have to put a delay on that.
Yeah, also, like, that looks probably a little bit too epic. What sort of changes will be coming with an ultimate revamp?
An ultimate revamp?
I don't know.
What's an ultimate revamp?
They're putting words in our mouth.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, the ultimate revamp that I just heard about now will be
I assume,
great changes.
Actually, I assume it would be something related to the champion balancing pass.
Right.
Because we have champions like Birdsong and Barrowan and who interact in different ways.
That's a fair. So to answer that question, one thing we want to do, and this is probably going to be part of the offline gold changes, but what we want to do is try and make it so that your DPS, your party DPS, is a little bit more truthful about what your actual party DPS is, and that will, when we do that change, make your ultimates be able to take into effect things like Barrowan's buffs and Birdsong's buffs, and anything else that increases, even like favored enemy right now isn't taken into account for your DPS.
Okay.
Once those changes are in, if you're in a level with a whole bunch of beasts and you've got favored enemy beast, then maybe you'll your ultimates will do a little bit more damage in that level because your sort of effective DPS will be higher. So that's something we really want to do. That change will also hopefully help out with offline gold, because offline gold right now is also based off of your DPS, and so it doesn't take into account Barrowin and that sort of stuff. Same with contracts. So there's a whole boatload of stuff, and that's actually the next sort of feature update we'll do is the offline gold and global DPS or party DPS fixes. So hopefully once we get those in, the ultimates will feel a little bit better and be more useful, regardless of the champions that you have in your party.
Cool. This one's interesting, and only you can answer it. How is it decided what characters to add when? Adding more DPS seems low priority when there are already many DPS options. Gathering Dust, Delinacron, Tritz, Specs for Grama, Dadius, Archon would welcome supports that make existing casts useful.
Yeah, I mean, so there's a couple of things we look at for adding characters. One of them is sort of what already exists in the game. We don't have that many champions in the game. Like, for example, in Crusaders, we've got over 100 at this point. I think it's 110 different Crusaders.
That's a lot.
So in this game, we've just passed 20. I think Strix was 23. So we've got a lot more sort of ideas of things we want to do with them. So in addition to sort of the design-wise what we want to do with them, we also want to make sure we have a good variety of races. We want to make sure we have a good equality of males and females. We want to make sure we have a good distribution of classes. So first we're thinking of those, and we find a good race, class, gender combination we haven't done yet. And then we start to think about what sort of avenues of buffing the party or doing damage or tanking haven't we done yet. And that is, we sort of think about what we haven't done and think about what we want to do, and then see if it fits with the sort of visual and story design of the character that we're putting in.
Cool. Are we going to add any of the characters from the cartoon? Except
with Holly. We just went to the Wikipedia page and pulled out everything cool that she'd done in the last season of Dice Camera Action, and then just put that into the game straight up. Just 1-to-1. What you gonna do
this time?
Whoa! Oh, that seems broken. Mark.
I'm not sure which one that was supposed to be.
Yeah. That doesn't seem right to me.
Sweet. Are we going to add any of the characters from the D&D cartoon?
I think that'd be really cool. We have to find a way to modernize them, because I don't know if everyone has seen the D&D cartoon from the, was it 80s or early 90s? It was 80s.
Yeah.
But it's like Scooby-Doo level character design, where they're basically walking around in a colored shirt and pants, and it's hard to sort of translate that into what is modern D&D. So I think it'd be really cool to do. It'd be a really awesome sort of callback. I think Wizards would be totally on board, but they're not on the next in my sort of radar of the next sort of 3 or 4 characters at this point. So.
Alrighty, so Happy Bobby Loves You. So when and if there is a reward for a golden replacing a shiny, will that be retroactive?
Yeah, this is a tough one because we don't actually have data for that. We store a lot of data about the loot you get, but one thing we don't actually store is whether you've had a shiny or a golden before. So if you have a golden, we don't actually store that you used to have a shiny in there, unfortunately. So I'm sure we'll try and do some sort of retroactive thing, but it may not be 100%. Excuse me. So we'll try and do the best we can with the data we have, but we might not be able to do it perfectly, unfortunately. Sorry.
All right. What are the odds of us getting formations of, well, more than 10, basically?
Yeah, I could see doing a 12 person formation down the road. Probably not in an event, at least not a tier 1 event, just because we like to try and keep them relatively even. I know in Crusaders we've had a couple of events that have been like, oh, this is like the event with the formation that's really frickin' awesome and 100% totally useful. You can get super duper far and it breaks everything. So we want to try to avoid that in this game and just we'll stick with our 10-man formations for the purposes of the events. But I could see maybe a campaign down the road having more, or as I said, like a tier 2 event if we do different formations between tier 1 and 2.
There's certainly some epic level ones that maybe could justify that kind of thing. Is this tanking and healing update coming this year?
I sure hope so. It's next on my plate after the offline gold stuff. So fingers crossed that we get around to it. We're doing so many events and adventures and variants and stuff that it sucks up a lot of our time. So we sort of fit the other updates in as we are able to, and yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason it wouldn't. Like questions kind of in jest, because it's only March and it's not like we're not going to do anything for the next 7 months or 6 months or 8 months, but yeah. Well, it's the end of March, right? We got 8 months left.
8 months and 2 days.
Yes, it is coming this year, assuming that we don't, all get hit by a bus tomorrow. So let's all cross the street separately from now on. Yeah.
Bench swapping with Barrowin for four buff stacks is super exploitative broken and also a real pain. Can that be removed?
Yeah, I think Barrowin, she's got some issues, and I don't really like that you can sort of play with her to get four stacks, and that the 4 stacks are so good. It's just a question of sort of how we're going to go about removing that, and when we're going to get there. Definitely as part of the balance update way down the road, we'll be taking a good hard look at how Barrowin stacks work and whether we want to play with that at all.
Okay. Colton Xanadu, offline gold gain is too low. Oh, yeah. We already answered that one. Sorry.
We are going to be fixing that. With that said, offline gold our goal is to never really have it be 100% as good or better than leaving your computer, leaving the game on. It'll always be we're always going to err on the side of having it be a little bit worse, just because we get a lot of from a business side, we get a lot of benefit out of everyone having the game open on Steam, because it moves us up in the Steam rankings and we get some visibility and we can get more people into the game, and if we get more people into the game, it means we can make a few more bucks and keep the lights on long enough. So where we want to improve it so that it's better, so that if you have to turn the game off, you're not feeling like you're getting punished for it. But we're never gonna be 100%.
All right, so Nomad 84 balance update. Is that the same thing as the rumored changes to the meta, which will make new strategies other than everyone's boost 1 DPS viable? Or is balancing champions a separate item, or higher or lower priority?
Yeah, the balance update is part of that. The balance update, it's going to be a pretty massive update. I was just talking to someone else here in the studio a little before, and the balance update is going to be the biggest patch notes you have ever seen. We are likely going to touch every single champion. We're going to try and open it up to new strategies and new formations and new synergies. And and I think it's going to be really exciting for people to log in for the first day after the balance update and see what kind of new things they can do. And I think it'll be kind of like a whole new game, really, when we do that, because it won't, there will be other options aside from just what people are talking about, the initial the basic meta.
Okay, we have time for one more question.
Oh my gosh!
So do you want an easy one or a harder one?
A medium one.
Medium. Okay. How do you tackle issues like specialization? There will always be a best possible formation and specialization choice in raw numbers, so I imagine it's very challenging to juggle that. So what's your philosophy?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I think as we've been working on the game for the last however many months it's been at this point, over a year for us, but the game's been out for about 7 months now. And for that whole time, I think we've gotten a little bit better at sort of finding interesting specialization choices. And so I think the thing for me when I get to a specialization choice is I try to make it so that depending on sort of how you're playing the game, both specialization choices are viable. They may just work slightly different. Like one really good one that I was really happy with was Regis. So Regis, his specialization choice isn't like you do more damage with this one and less damage with this one. It was you can either buff the people behind you or you can buff the people in front of you. And so that gives people flexibility of like, oh, in this formation, I need to have him behind me so that he can buff the person in front of him. Or I need to have him in front so he can buff the person behind. And it gives you that choice and that flexibility with the champion.
Yeah.
And so I think that's something I sort of strive for with formations, is giving players some choice and some flexibility. And we've moved away from it being like, you know, this one is the buffing specialization and this one is the DPS specialization, because I don't think that's as interesting. Because of the numbers, there will always be like sort of this is the best one and this is not. So
this guy gets 2 more upgrades, or this guy has 1 more DPS item. So
yeah. So like I think with Strix's specialization, it's an interesting choice of like I want her to attack a little bit faster or I want her to attack a little bit slower. And with Regis, as I said, it's the specialization is, you know, in front or behind. And I think we'll continue to sort of play with it and try and find like a really good sort of balance point. Oh, Mage Hand, Pixie, Gazer, Chwinga, and a Pseudo Dragon. You haven't saved up gems for the...
No, I spent them on stream unlocking chests a few weeks ago. People were like, unlock some chests. I'm like, all right.
Oh, well...
I'll get there eventually. Where am I at? Not enough.
18K?
Yeah.
Oh, you're on your way.
Yeah, I'll get there. Cool. Well, that is the amount of time that we have. So it's time to wrap this stream up. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah, no worries.
For leaving your meeting.
Yes. Big important meeting.
So thanks to Justin for joining us. Thanks to you for joining us. Thanks to Wizards of the Coast for hosting us. Waffle Talk is up next at 4. Holly Conrad's new show, Trapped in a Birdcage, is on at 5. I highly suggest you check it out.
Watch that. That'll be awesome.
It's also known as It's Always Sunny in Sigil. And of course, Critical Role at 7. So we will see you next week when Holly joins us for our 3rd and final stream about Strix. So have a fantastic Festival of Fools and Easter weekend, everybody.